Momentum. Two passionate and busy moms sharing the quest to achieve entrepreneurial success.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Ariella.
Good morning, Theresa. Welcome to Momentum, which we absolutely love and look forward to recording every week.
This is definitely a new experience for me, even just to see all the technical setup that needs to be done to get us up and going this morning.
Yeah, well, actually, we'll tell them what we're doing. I bought a second microphone because now we're like legit podcasters, but it required a lot because a second microphone had to go into this interface that had two connections. And then when I went into Logic, which is the music program I use to record all of it, I had to set it up differently. And, I had to check all our levels. And so in the process, I watched, 5 YouTube videos, which explain everything, which is what's amazing about today. Really take advantage of YouTube because I think that's how we're getting through everything right now, right?
Yes,
tutorials.
Yes. And, as an entrepreneur, there is so many new systems. Technology is fabulous today, but there's so much support and help with technology, but everything requires learning.
Yes.
Especially when it's the first time ever. And so you have to go back to the tutorials and figure out how to set this up, how to do this, how to input this, how to export this.
That's right.
It can be overwhelming. It can be very time consuming.
And also, sometimes if you could get to the exact tutorial, but sometimes you have to watch like 10 of them to figure out what you're even looking for, which I found myself doing as well. You're trying to figure out how to set up, how to get paid by a credit card, but then you're watching something on how to do something different. So, but we're learning, we're taking step by step, and we're trying to take you guys with us and give you some confidence to do it as we fumble through it all.
And we gladly fumble for you.
That's right.
So hopefully you won't need to fumble as much. We can close that gap and help you get over those hurdles much faster than we are right now.
Yeah. So a few things. I picked a host for our podcast, so you'll be hearing this anyway from them. But I researched, and this is really overwhelming because there's so many options that you can get, and all of them sound so cool. You could have private podcasting, you could have video podcasting, you could have subscription podcasting, you could have ads inserted. So many things, so overwhelming, and so many sites sounded amazing. And I finally just had to pick one, and some are free and some are cheap and some are more expensive, but you get all the stuff. And so I did. That was huge for me. That was a huge win for me. We have a podcasting host. They're called Podbean.
Podbean, yes.
We're going to put their links below because I think there's an affiliate program, which we'll figure out hopefully at some point. So if you click that link, by the time we get that set up, maybe we'll get something from it because we do need to make money somehow.
Yes, a whole section or system on monetizing, and so
yeah,
I'm happy to dive into that tutorial because that's another video that we need to watch.
Right, and that's actually a real thing. We, in the middle of everything, we need to still make money.
Yes.
It's like we're doing this because we're passionate about it, we're excited about it, but there is a practicality. We do need to pay the bills, and we don't want to go get some other job. We want to do this.
We want to do this.
Yeah.
We want to do so much more. Ariella and I are both working on so many fantastic
projects.
things.
Mm-hmm.
And every single one of them is going to be a huge benefit to those who are in need of them. And it's so great that we got together and be able to support each other and hold each other accountable and all the cool things that we're doing. We just love to share it here with you guys because truly, you may not need everything that we're sharing, but somebody out there will need it.
Yes.
It will need something that we're sharing. And so, we're just happy to be able to share our experience through this process with you all.
That's right. And we're like your workout buddies. That's what we want to be because that's what we are for each other. But this is like a business workout for us moms who are so busy and trying to fit this all in. So I think Theresa had a really big win this week. Why don't you talk about what you did this week?
I would love to, Ariella. Thank you for that. And, I do have to say that, being moms, we have a lot on our plate. There really is a lot going on. And that's why Ariella and I are so passionate about creating this podcast for you all, because with everything, all the overwhelm in our lives, raising the kids, taking care of everything in the house, and just doing all the mom stuff that we do.
So much stuff.
To add all this other stuff, it can be overwhelming, but just know that you can do it. know that every step you take will get you closer and closer to that goal.
Yeah.
And that's the whole reason we're here with you all. And my big win this week.
Yes.
So we just finished Giving Tuesday this week. And so last week, leading up to Giving Tuesday, I had a plan and I had a lot of steps that I was going to take to launch this campaign for Giving Tuesday in order to launch my business, Fuller Life and Fuller Life Foundation. It's multiple things, but it has to start somewhere.
Yeah.
There's multiple phases of this vision that I have and this business that I am creating. Possibly nonprofit, possibly profit. We'll discuss that on another episode.
Right, yeah.
But it has to start somewhere. And so Giving Tuesday was a great opportunity for me. I had to research because as I'm building this business, how can I get people to donate? And is it acceptable? It's not a nonprofit yet. It is a for-profit currently, but I'm not sure which direction to go. And is this a platform that I can use to start raising startup funds? And the answer is yes. You can go out, you can create a GoFundMe account for crowdfunding to be able to build some support, some money to start launching your business.
And wait, I want to know how you did that. But the one thing I just want to interject is so many people who start companies have money to start the company, and that's how they build the company and make the money. They have some sort of startup funds, whether it's from their family, whether they have it from another job or a sale of a house. But what do you do when you don't have the funds, but you have the idea for the company and you know you can run it?
Yeah.
And so us mommies, we should not feel ashamed to do some sort of crowdfunding for a dream that we have that we're passionate about. She's not doing crowdfunding to go shopping, right?
No, not at
You're
all.
trying to start this incredible business, this dream that you have, and you don't have the grandpa to give you the money, right?
No,
So
yeah.
just wanted to throw that out there. Remember that, it takes money to make money, and
Yes.
it's okay to go after it in any way that you can that's appropriate,
Yes,
right?
yes, and it's okay to ask. There's a lot of that taboo too. Oh, I don't want to ask people for money, but you're not begging them. You're not harassing them. You're giving them the opportunity to help support something that is you're very passionate about.
Yes.
And if you're passionate about it and they know you and love you, they'll probably be excited for you and want to help you, and that's okay. Just however we need to come up with the money, we need to look at all options. But in addition to some of the things Ariella just mentioned too, you can also take out a loan or look for grants. Well, those things are hard to do as well. But any way that you can find the money to start your business, do it, and don't be ashamed about how you come up with it. If you need to even put a little savings account aside and build as you're starting to create your ideas, that's fine too. But however you need to do it, just go out and do it. So with the GoFundMe account, there was a lot to learn there too. I had to research, make sure that I could do this for startup funds for a business, and all the resources I went to said that it's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
Some people were asking me, well, can you do this if you're not a nonprofit? The GoFundMe is there for any project or anything that you need help raising funds for.
Right.
So there
And
is a whole
I've seen
section
it.
for business.
I've seen it. I've had some people I know have started some board games, and they crowdfunded for that. I mean, it doesn't always have to be for some. Sorry, the dog's in the background. This is real life. It doesn't always have to be a need that's, somebody's sick, of course, or some terrible thing happened. We see crowdfunding for that, and we all understand it.
Yes.
But there's also somebody wants to write a book, or somebody wants to create a game, or somebody wants to start a business, or somebody needs to pay for a patent on a dream that they have for something.
Right.
So this is great,
Yes.
right? And we're
Yes.
going to help you with that
Yes.
learning curve today about crowdfunding, which is great, Theresa.
Yes. And just so you know as well, there are different options when it comes to crowdfunding, because I chose the GoFundMe, regular GoFundMe account, just a regular account. GoFundMe also has a charity account. So if you are a nonprofit, there is a separate area that you can go to build a GoFundMe charity.
Okay.
And so there's that option. I've also learned, and I don't know the exact name of the platform, but you can Google and search it. There are different crowdfunding opportunities for people to invest in your business as well. I did not go that route.
But you might.
But that is an option.
Yeah.
And so that's something that maybe I do down the road.
Yeah.
But just to know there's different options for even crowdfunding alone.
Yeah.
And so again, these are things that we're learning each step of the way. It's researching the different options and the best opportunity for you. So in order to launch this wonderful campaign, I had to create a MailChimp account so that I could get some platform set up for creating some type of emails that I was going to send out.
Okay, so that's a whole thing to figure out,
Yes.
because I use something called Constant Contact for my newsletters.
Yep.
So you're going to be using MailChimp, and
Yep.
maybe we'll have, if there's affiliates, we'll figure
Yep.
out how to put that in as
Yes.
well.
Yes,
Right?
yes,
You know,
yes.
click on all our stuff.
Yes.
But see, that's a huge thing, and that's a big accomplishment for the week. Remember, we talked about that checklist of what have I accomplished. So
Yep.
you created a newsletter account.
Yeah. I created
set it
the
up.
email system account.
Okay.
I did create a landing page with this account.
That's amazing.
And that's the other thing. You know, you talk about these two platforms, and they're just even researching these two platforms alone. What's the differences? What's the cost? So I had to pick and choose and kind of go through the different things that both offered, and they both offer great things.
Yeah.
But I chose to do MailChimp. And on that platform, I was able to create a landing page, which would tell people more about the business and what I'm creating. I do have a domain created, but not a full website yet. That's part of the funds that I'm raising, is to be able to create a website. So temporarily, the platform that I chose the free version, so you don't need any money to get started. Of course, as you build, there will be opportunities to increase that, and there are monthly costs above and beyond 500 contacts or however many contacts you end up building, which is all part of this process. I need to build my contacts. I need to build the people that are going to be supporting this this organization, this foundation of mine. So back to MailChimp, I got that landing page going. I created the links that I needed to be able to include in the GoFundMe account. The other things that I used for free was Canva.
Yeah.
So I was able to build a flyer and a good photo that advertised and marketed GivingTuesday, donating to Fuller Life. I put a picture of my dad when he was in the hospital. That's where this whole vision started. Talked about the story a little bit. Talked about what the funds are being used for. And I uploaded it to GoFundMe. And then I started blasting it out to all my social media. Okay. Now, the big piece that I did miss out on was actually sending the emails. And I'm going to use a word right now that I told Ariella. I truly feel like such a successful failure in this process.
I understand this.
I am so happy for the steps that I did take and the accomplishments that I made.
Yeah.
I reached out to so many people. I got the word out. People now know what the foundation is going to be about.
And you did raise some money.
I did raise some
you
money.
You didn't get where you wanted to go, but you raised some money. You started something. You could
definitely
get a
did.
website going with that.
I definitely have resources to get to the next step.
Right.
And, and the thing is, you don't have to take the GoFundMe page down at any time.
Right.
You can keep it up all year long if you want.
Right.
So Above and Beyond GivingTuesday decided to leave the account up to be able to continue fundraising throughout the rest of this year. And quite frankly, I plan to leave it up all year long, just to be that place that people can go to be able to help support what is happening. But with MailChimp, I am planning on creating a monthly newsletter.
Right.
So I can update everybody as to what steps I'm taking and moving this train forward.
Yeah, and in the newsletter, you can always have the link to the Fuller Life donations. We can put the link, of course, in all of our podcasting.
Yes.
I mean, even at the bottom of your email tag, when you at the end when you send anything, even for basketball, you could say something about about that donation right there as well, and people can click. And you've created something that you have now that you can use over and over and over.
Yes.
And the same thing with your landing page. I mean, your landing page, you had to write content, right?
Yes.
But now you've got things to copy and paste when you have to create another landing page.
Yes.
So everything that we create helps to prepare us and build us for that next thing. And, Canva, you started using that. And I know I use that to make all my thumbnails on the Voice Lessons to Go YouTube videos. It's a great service. My son is actually creating our logo on Canva right now, but he has like a premium service that he's paying for. But for free, I did all the other ones.
Yeah.
So look at all these different things you went through: crowdfunding, MailChimp, Canva, just to get this going. You also had to sign up for some sort of, was it Stripe or PayPal?
Yeah. So after you get the GoFundMe account set up, now again, the previous few weeks, my accomplishments were getting the business license, getting
we didn't even talk about that.
Getting my
DBA?
My DBA in order to create my bank account.
That's right.
And so those things were the previous week's focus. And so
step by step, because you don't ever have to do that again.
No,
it's done.
It's done. Yeah. It was something that took a lot of time, got done.
Yeah.
It's now don't have to go back to that again. So we can get back to that in a minute too, because there were a lot of steps I had to go through for that. Yeah. But yeah, so once the GoFundMe page was created, you have to be able to transfer those funds into a bank account.
Right.
So in
All
order
learning
to
curve.
do that, you set up the bank account easily, but then they go through a process of vetting to make sure that you're a legitimate person, and they go through a kind of a background verification process through Stripe.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a Stripe account.
I don't have one yet.
So that was another thing I had to add. And you didn't necessarily have to add the Stripe account in order to be verified, but I was having an issue, technical difficulties. It wasn't verifying me. So I went and created a Stripe account thinking, oh, now it'll verify me. But then I went back to go get verified again, and it still had a technical issue. So somehow I worked through all of that. And
that's amazing, because think, again, if we were starting a company and we had a team around us, we could assign these different things to different people, right? Somebody could be doing finance. Someone could be doing advertising. Somebody could do design.
Yes.
As these mompreneurs, we are doing everything.
Yes.
On no budget, trying to figure this all out. So, feel free. We do have a patron set up here. So you want to send us some funds to keep going, we'd appreciate it. Yes. But, it's a lot to learn, but I want you to think about all that. You said you're a successful failure, but you're actually just like successful, because you're not where you want to go. But just a few weeks ago, you didn't have a bank account. You didn't even have a business license.
Yeah.
You didn't have a Stripe account.
Yeah.
You had never looked into crowdfunding.
Yeah.
Now you have things set up and going.
Yeah.
We have to start somewhere.
And celebrating the wins.
That's
and
right.
this really was a big win for me this week, even though
Huge.
I didn't get everything that I wanted to do done. And truly where I say that failure was not getting those emails out. Because had I done that, I would have had so much more support. I know it, because there's a huge database of people that I didn't even touch yet.
Yeah.
That's going to be this week's focus.
Yes.
So I'm still
can
going to
still
go back
do it.
and I'm still going to send those newsletters out and still announce what I'm doing.
You should do it.
And people can continue donating throughout the rest of December, throughout the rest of the year, whenever you have an opportunity and want to help support Fuller Life.
So in your email, my thought is maybe you could say, I used GivingTuesday as an impetus to set this up, my dream.
Yes.
And now I'd like to announce it to you. So
Yes.
you're not apologizing
Yes.
for not making it by GivingTuesday. Honestly, I didn't even know what GivingTuesday was before you told me about it.
Yeah.
I see it now that you told me. I saw on Facebook there was all this GivingTuesday stuff.
Yep.
But, it doesn't mean you can't ask for it next week.
Yep.
Right? And announce it, and even say you had a campaign for GivingTuesday. And the great thing is those people now are going to go to it, and it's not going to say $0. You've already raised some money.
Yes.
And I think when people start raising money, other people start giving money.
Yes.
So you've actually totally succeeded.
Yes, I did. Thank you so much for saying that, Ariella, because but I do feel it. I really do. being in this supportive team of two of us,
Yeah.
I really do feel a lot of the big successful wins that you and I both have created.
Yeah.
And they're amazing.
Yeah.
And that's why we want to share with everybody.
That's right.
So we can share with you what kinds of things can be accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, if you don't get something completely done, it's okay. There's always tomorrow. You can always keep moving forward. Get the next thing done. Get the next thing done. There's, so I will just share really quickly, because for next year, Giving Tuesday, I will have a complete email campaign set up.
Yeah.
In my head this year, I wanted another technology helpful tool is Trello. And that's
you were telling me that. We're going to get on that.
We're going to get on together to help us with our projects for Momentum. But this would have been a great tool to use. And in my head, I was already using it. I just didn't have the time to physically enter the information I needed to help make things smoother. And what I could have done in Trello is create different projects and different little tabs there with the content already uploaded, with the photos I was already going to use, with the Canva that I might have wanted to add, build it all in advance so that when the week came, there was no having to do those things. There was no having to think about it. It was already pre-planned and pre-done. You just click and click. But that's something I'd love to dive deeper into on another episode.
I totally want to do that.
Yes.
I totally want to do that.
And I'll teach you step by step.
Yeah, I think the next episode we should talk about that, because there's some things that I've been doing on my end that are going to feed into that. So I know, I think that's good for today. I think we should celebrate what you did. And I also want to bring it back to the whole mommy thing, is that it's pretty impossible for us to do everything perfect.
Yes.
And it's impossible to have the perfect clean house, the perfect food, the kids, everybody's perfect with the perfect homework. It's just, we have to just do our best.
Yeah.
And you're doing a great job. And it's so easy for you not to do it.
Yes.
But you did it.
I did it. And, I have to celebrate your success, too, and your win, Ariella, even just picking the host for this podcast.
That made me crazy.
I know you went through so many different platforms, and each one offered so much.
Yeah.
But I commend you and I applaud you for the one that you selected. Part of the reason is because it offered different channels that we can both build additional podcasts on.
Right.
And Ariella has some additional ideas. I have additional ideas. So we have other channels that we would be creating. And it's great because you just jumped on in, you bought it for the whole year and said, we're going to do this and we're going to be successful at it. And we'll see what happens at the end of the year and see how well this particular platform worked for us. So it's all just a trial and error, but moving forward and making those decisions are so important to get us to the next step.
Part of it is I just had to make a decision. Yeah. And, and what's great about working with somebody, and if you can work with somebody, I highly recommend it, is you can share the responsibility. So when we started this, maybe some of the ideas were mine, some were hers. Maybe I encouraged her for something and she encouraged me. She had spent quite a bit of money purchasing the mastermind courses, right? And I didn't pay for that. But I went ahead and I purchased, a really good package from Podbean.
Yeah.
And the reason I purchased a more expensive one was because it allowed us to have everything. Because I felt like, well, if I get this one, I can do all this stuff, but I can only do it on one channel. And I have this feeling like I want to dive in completely, or I just don't want to do it. Yeah. I want to dive in completely for 1 year, and I don't want to feel like anything held me back. So and I'm paying for this, and that's great. So we can do that.
Share those.
Exactly.
We're just sharing everything together.
We're just sharing, and I'm editing. My son is making the music, but she's going to write the content for the copy, and she's going to figure out something about the advertising. So we're going to work together,
and we have guests that we're going to be bringing onto the show that we already
awesome.
have at least 2 or 3 in mind. But things that if you guys have ideas, please share, comment.
Yes.
Let us know. We have a Facebook group page that we'll be sharing with people. Yeah. So even there, you can share comments about today's episode, about some ideas that you have or help that you might need. This is really a community for all of us moms to come together and help support each other.
Well, thank you so much for listening today. Guys, go out and go after it.
Mom and Tom. Two passionate and busy moms sharing the quest to achieve entrepreneurial success.